video is looking at some of the trends that human resource management needs to be thinking about. What's actually happening in businesses, what's happening with human resources. So first of all, one of the trends that's going on are some of the changes in the labor force. All right, you have your internal and your external labor markets, okay? The internal is who is it that's working there? And also the external, who is those who are looking for jobs. Who is it that's outside who may have the skills, knowledge, and abilities that's necessary in order for the company to be successful? In those changes, there are various things that are happening. You have an aging workforce. In other words, think about the baby boomers who are aging, getting older, and then also who are the key managers and the senior managers of organizations right now, which are primarily baby boomers, but they are retiring, and in some cases not retiring. We're getting much more as far as diversity, as far as the workforce is concerned. And when we talk about diversity, it's not just the areas of illegal discrimination, such as race, color, religion, sex, etc. It's also different thinking. It's also different backgrounds and things. And then there's also a series of skill deficiencies that's going on as far as what's happening with reading and writing, what's happening as far as computer flexibility and aptability. So those are some changes. You also have, when you start talking about the aging of the workforce, you basically have three key generations that are in the workforce right now. You have your boomers, Gen X, and then your millennials. And now when it comes to putting somebody in one of those groups, it's not hard and fast as far as the years are concerned. There are a lot of folks who are more Gen X who think and act more like boomers. And there are a lot of millennials who tend to think and act more like Gen Xers. And there are Gen Xers who have a tendency to be more like millennials. So it doesn't really focus in on just the years. It's also some of the thought processes and things that go along with it. One of the things that's happening right now is the largest portion of the workforce are the 25 to 54-year-olds. The baby boomers are starting to come out of the workforce. And the younger, the millennials, are the smallest amount. The thing is, they are becoming much more systematic and more symbolic as far as what's happening in the workforce and some of the changes that's actually happening in the workforce. When you start thinking about the aging workforce, one of the issues that we get into is struggling to control the rising cost of healthcare and benefits. There are a lot of things that have been happening as far as healthcare benefits, the cost of healthcare, not only the insurance, also the actual acceptance and usage of healthcare that's really impacting what it is that companies can do and pay. You also have managers who are supervising people who are older than them because people are having a tendency to stay in the workforce longer. More and more mentoring programs are going to be necessary. One of the things that I have found in talking with Gen Xers is, hey, baby boomers, share with us that wisdom that you have so that we can take that and help become successful. There's also a change as far as the racial makeup, all right, as far as what's going on. So, so at 5 years down the road, we're looking at a majority still white. Thing is, you're looking at African Americans still becoming a larger segment of the population, Asian, and then some of the other groups. And so one of the issues that we have to think about is what's actually happening with the ethnic and racial makeup of the workforce. We also have the issue of undocumented or illegal immigrants that are coming into the labor supply, and what that does as far as what it is that organizations can do, what it is they're paying, etc. When you start thinking about the human resource management practices supporting diversity, we have to think about communication. What are we doing as far as developing people's skills, knowledge, and abilities who do have different backgrounds? What are we doing as far as performance appraisals, making sure that people are getting the feedback that's necessary, that's objective, and then also handling the employee relations piece, setting out environments so that people do feel comfortable with where it is that they work. We also are running into various skill deficiencies. All right. Employers are looking for a lot more as far as the mathematical and the interpersonal piece. Now, the millennials, the Gen Y, are doing a pretty good job as far as computer skills. Baby boomers, not as much. The thing is, baby boomers have more of the interpersonal and some of the mathematical skills. These things can help you in your career become successful. Make sure you do have those interpersonal skills and those computer skills. And if you really want to go far, more and more companies are looking for the analytics and the mathematical skills to help them figure out where are our customers, what is it that they're doing, what are they buying, what kind of social media do they go to, etc. One of the things that people are looking for in organizations is that high performance work system. In other words, you have to make sure that you have fit between the people and the systems. And when we say systems, we're talking about the social and the technical systems. And it's not just computer systems. It's also the way we work and the things that are important as far as our work is concerned. There is more of a reliance on knowledge workers. Getting your degree is one of those things that can help you in your career. There's also a push for a lot more empowerment and teamwork that's going on, where decisions are being pushed further down in the organization and teams are becoming much more prevalent as far as getting things done. When you stop to think about the occupations where there's going to be a lot of job growth, if you look at this, personal care, nursing, home health aides, a lot of that is based on the aging of the workforce. So you have the baby boomers who are getting older, and they're a huge part of the population. Because they're getting older, because they're needing more health care, these jobs are really growing as far as the numbers are concerned. The ones with the fastest growth, think about maybe the sustainability aspects with, wind and solar and some of these things. Again, you're looking at some of the healthcare types of things. Knowledge workers are those who have particular knowledge that helps the organization have a sustainable advantage. And so they are going to be some of the key human resources that are necessary for organizations. And it's not just being able to swing a hammer or run a machine. It's also, all right, so what does it really mean? How do you handle some of these things? What are some new things you can bring in? It's programming some of the robots that are coming into play. There's also the idea of empowerment and engagement. In other words, in pushing decision-making down, one of the things that companies are doing is giving people more freedom to make decisions. The thing is, you have to have the knowledge and the responsibility and authority to do some of those things. Then the idea of engagement. We'll talk more about this a little bit later on, where the whole idea behind that is, what are we doing to make sure that people are participating, they're motivated, they are really providing the services and the work that's necessary so this company can be successful. Teams are becoming much more prevalent, where you have a group of people, a small group of people who are working together to get something done. And so there's much more teamwork that's happening in organizations today. When you start thinking about human resource management, one of the things that HRM needs to do is help align the organization's strategies with the policies and practices that are being set up. One of the things that's been happening a ton is the whole idea of mergers and acquisitions, all right, where you have two companies who are becoming one. You have another company that's absorbing another company. For example, I date back to the Marion Labs days. And while I was there, we went through various mergers and acquisitions. We were basically purchased by Dow, and we became Marion Merrill Dow. Then we were basically bought by Herbst, German chemical company, and became Herbst Marion Roussel. And then we were purchased by the French and became Aventis Pharmaceuticals, and now they are Sanofi Now it's become Sanofi Pharmaceuticals. So it's really kind of interesting to see all of the mergers and acquisitions that happen, particularly when you start talking about industries that are maturing. Another key piece as far as organizations is concerned is the total quality management movement. That actually started back in the 80s when the Japanese were actually eating our lunch as far as business was concerned, and manufacturing and things like that. And so one of the things that we really focused in on was the total quality management. And that's something that has actually come into play with human resource management also, because you start looking at what can we do to control some of the costs. You have downsizing, reengineering, and outsourcing. Downsizing is basically where you're saying, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the jobs. We're going to cut out the number of people that we have here. We're going to use fewer people to do the same amount of work. Or supposedly we're going to get rid of non-essential work. Never happens. You have reengineering. In other words, one of the things that you need to do is change how we actually approach the job. What are some processes that we can simplify? What are some things that we can cut out as far as the way we get things done? And then you have outsourcing. In other words, what are we doing as far as sending work overseas? For example, one of the things that GM has started doing, General Motors, is sending more work down to Mexico as far as building their cars because it's cheaper. There are no T-shirts basically made in the United States. They're all made either in China or in Bangladesh. And so outsourcing is actually reducing the cost that companies have to pay in producing their products. With that outsourcing, what's happening is we're expanding much more globally. The world has become much more global as far as business is concerned. There's much more offshoring that's going on, and being aware of what kind of labor is available to help companies achieve their goals. The secret code for this week is Lily. The secret code for this week is Lily. There's also technological changes going on in human resource management. You have HRIS, or a lot of times you'll see it done as Hermes, HRMIS, Human Resource Management Information Systems, where what that's doing is it's collecting all of the data that's necessary as far as who do we have, what kind of skills do they have, what can we do as far as our decision making is concerned, where do we need to train people, things like this. And then there's a lot of technology that's impacting human resource management. So for example, much more stuff is done now on the web, where you have an internet portal, and a lot of the things that you're doing are actually done in a web browser. So for example, cloud computing. You're using Canvas. You are using cloud computing. In other words, it's programs that reside on somebody's server, and you're using a web browser in order to access that. There's a lot of data mining that's going on also. Again, that gets into the analytics aspect. There's the electronic HR management. In other words, a lot of the information is done electronically now versus paper. So for example, you're putting in a request for something. Instead of filling out a form, you're filling out a form online. And then you have the cloud computing, where you're actually getting into other servers to get things done. A lot of human resources has gone to more of a self-service approach. Before, if you had a question about something, you would go and ask a human resource generalist. Now what's happening is a lot of it is already online, and you're actually handling it yourself. For example, if you have to put in, you need to change your withholdings. Okay, so in other words, maybe you've had a baby and you're going to change your withholdings so that it's not as much tax is being held out of your paycheck. You need to fill out a W-4. Well, it used to be that you would go over to Human Resources, they give you a form, you fill it out, you hand it, sign it, you hand it to them. Now, a lot of that stuff is done online, and it's on your own. If you have a question, they say, go to the website and fill it out. There's also a change in the employee relationship as far as the psychological contract between the employee and the company, what's happening with unions, and then also flexibility. So, for example, the psychological contract is what is the relationship that you and I have with the company. A lot of time, back in my parents' day, it was one of those things where you hook up with that company and you're basically there for life. Today, no longer. They cannot offer you a job for life. There's a lot of declining union membership. Unions are they're on the decline, particularly like in Kansas. Kansas is a right to work state. So union membership has been declining because of that, because people can say, I don't want to join the union, and they don't have to in order to take that job. And then you get into the flexibility aspect. There's a lot more flexibility that companies are looking for as far as their human resources are concerned. A lot of companies are doing a heck of a lot more as far as temporary and contract workers than they were before. Rather than being an employee and getting a W-2 at the end of the year showing, okay, here are the taxes that were taken out and things like that, you are a contractor and you will get what's called a 1099. In other words, okay, here's how much we paid this person. That person is responsible for paying their own taxes, their own benefits, and things like this. Employees are looking for a lot more flexible work schedule. One of the things that the younger generation, the millennials, have been looking for is that flexibility in work schedules. In order to get the talents that's necessary, a lot of companies are allowing that. So in summary, one of the things to think about is the internal and the external labor force that's out there. The labor market's aging, and that can have a real impact as far as the jobs that are available and also the training that's being done. Job design and appropriate systems are necessary to make sure that you have the correct rewards and pay that goes along with what it takes to do the job. Is that competitive with other companies and things? Making sure that people have the opportunity to make decisions and work as teams in order to get things done. HR pros need to be familiar with the strategy because you are playing a huge role as far as the strategy is concerned, because people are the most important thing in an organization. An organization with international operations hire people from foreign countries many times to come in and help do the job. And there's much more offshoring and outsourcing that's actually going on. So those are some of the key points as far as Chapter 2 is concerned. If you have questions, please feel free to give me a call.